Alright, bonus segment for this week along with the next few weeks because of Clan Collection, this time being the Seal Dragons and Celestials, in addition to today, Musketeers. Along with a surprise extra reveal of a Lyrical Monesterio Archetype, that being Loronerol. So let's begin with the Seal Dragons. First off, here are the reprints along with the Heel Guardian. And then we go to Seal Dragon Curse, Grade 1, AK Power and its skills. Auto, when placed on Vanguard rearguard, cost Soul Blast 1, discard a card from your hand, choose one of your opponent's rearguards and then retire it. And then your opponent chooses one Grade 2 unit from their hand and call it to an open rearguard. The auto abilities cannot activate during this call. And if there were no cards called, you can draw 2 cards. Alright, a huge improvement for the original Seal Dragons because 1, it nullifies the on-place abilities, which was one of the issues for Seal Dragons back in the day. Another is that it actually punishes your opponent for not being able to call Grade 2, because Seal Dragons get stronger for every Grade 2 your opponent controls. And back in the day, if your opponent does not call a Seal Dragon, well, you just get weaker. That's basically what it is. So this being able to punish your opponent for not calling a Grade 2 can be very helpful. And also the fact that if you use this on turn 1, and your opponent only has one Grade 2 in hand, if they choose not to call that, well, they could be ride blocked. So yeah, I already like the huge improvement of the new Seal Dragons as it is, as it actually punishes your opponent for not calling a Grade 2. Next, Seal Dragon Corduroy. Grade 2, tanky power and skills. Act Vanguard Rearguard. Once per turn, cost Counter Blast 1, choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire it. And then your opponent looks at the top 5 cards of your deck and call Grade 2 card from among them. And of course, auto abilities do not activate during this call, and if there were no cards called, countercharge 1. So you can get a potential free retire, although this one has a more likely chance of actually happening because it's top 5 cards from the deck and it relies on RNG for that. And even if your opponent decides not to call, well, that one counterblast can benefit you a lot. And then to the boss unit itself, Seal Dragon Blockade. Grade 3, 30 power, force, and its skills. Auto Vanguard, once per turn, cost counterblast 1, retire all your opponent's Grade 2 rearguards, and then all your front row units get plus 10k power for each card retired. This is why you want to build up the amount of Grade 2s, because the more Grade 2s they have, the stronger you're going to get. And if there were no cards retired, you get an imaginary gift force. So meaning, it punishes your opponent for not having Grade 2s, which is what I like. But its second skill, count Vanguard. If your opponent has no Grade 2 units on their Vanguard rearguard, the original crit of this unit becomes 2. Well, I guess you use Force 1, but technically you could also use Force 2 to bring 3 attacks with 2 crits each, because this card's first skill powers up your whole front row. But overall, this card is actually pretty nice. It plays more like Blockade Inferno, because Blockade Inferno kills all your opponent's Grade 2s, and I like how this card still punishes your opponent for not having Grade 2 rearguards. Because Seal Dragon's playstyle is, you replace your opponent's rearguards for Grade 2s, and then you use your main Vanguard to essentially do something with them to get stronger. So in this case, you want to kill your opponent's rearguards to replace them with Grade 2s, and then you want to kill those Grade 2s so you can get your cards with more power. And in this case, it also gets 1 crit. But funny enough, if you played this card in Premium while your opponent's in Legion, this second skill is practically useless. But there's another thing that you can use those Grade 2s for. Literally clog up your opponent's field. Because you can always replace all those Grade 1s for Grade 2s, and it makes your opponent have like no boosters, which can be quite nasty sometimes. Now this is more of a late game card, because 1, you want to build up those Grade 2s and then kill all of them so you could get full power benefits, and the second skill pretty much implies that you really want to use this when both players are at Grade 3, so you do have Dauntless as a first ride option, and imagine the double attack with 2 crits each, and if you want to go Force 2 for your front row rear guards, well, you got 3 cards that can attack with 2 crits each, and this one builds up power for your whole front row, keep that in mind. So yeah, overall, very nice improvement to the original. Hopefully we get Blockade Inferno eventually. And now to the Celestials. Here's the Heel Guardian along with the reprints. And then we go to Spine Celestial Joe Feel. Grade 1, AK Power and skills. Auto, when this card is rolled upon, choose a card from your damage zone and then swap it with 1 card from your hand. This is okay, but you technically have to take the first damage for this skill to activate. Luckily, it could be any card, so meaning if you have an on-play skill that requires a counterblast, you can swap that counterblast card to put 1 card from your hand back face up, so meaning you have another counterblast ready. But anyway, second skill, auto when placed on rearguard from hand, costs. Counterblast 1, bind this unit, put the top card from your deck to the damage zone, and at the end of the turn you may put this card to your drop zone, and if this card is put to your drop zone, choose a card from your damage zone and put it to your hand. So basically, you get a temporary increase of damage, which can be nasty depending on some decks, especially there is a pseudo limit break in this deck. And also, it could disrupt your opponent's heal triggers, so you got that too. But keep in mind, if you use this while you're at 5 damage and put yourself at 6, you lose the game, so keep that in mind. But overall, what this really is really a delayed plus, and that's really all it is. But at the same time, you do want to build up the cards in your damage zone so you can get stronger. But at least it's nice that it's generic, so you got future proof for this card. Next, Candle Celestial Serial. Grade 2, 9k power and skills. Auto when placed on Vanguard rearguard costs. Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, search your deck for one normal unit and put it to your damage zone. And of course shuffle your deck, and if a card was put to your damage zone, choose one card and heal it. Yes, you can just refund that counterblast. How nice. But this skill already is really good, letting you choose any card from your deck and put it to the damage zone. There is a good number of Angel Feather decks that would like that, because you would want specific cards in your damage zone. But anyway, it also has a second skill where count rearguard. If your damage zone has one or less face down cards, this card gets boost. Well, with Angel Feather's damage zone manipulation, taking back those face down cards, it is doable. And finally, to the boss unit, Prophecy Celestial Ramiel. Grade 3, 12k power, protect, and skills. Auto Vanguard when this card attacks, costs Soul Blast 1, Countercharge 1, then stand all your rearguards with the same card name as face-up cards in your damage zone. And then for every 2 units that were stand, draw a card, and then all your rearguard text was 5k power until the end of the turn. So yeah, this is why you want to build up your damage zone, so you could have different units in your damage zone, but specifically same ones as the ones that you have on rearguard, which synergizes really well with No Seal. No Seal wants to put more No Seals to the damage zone, so you have quite good synergy with No Seal. You can also try to play this with Makoth Malek, because you do have that. You also have other cards that could swap cards from your hand with damage zone as well, so you have more control over this skill. Although I do not like how it has to be specifically the same cards as the ones in the damage zone. I mean, yeah, you do get a good number of pluses, but very specific is not how I like it. But anyway, it also has a second skill where Auto Vanguard rearguard at the start of your ride phase. If your damage zone has 4 or more cards, you may put the top card of your deck to your damage zone, and if you do, choose a card from your damage zone and put it to your hand. And if this card was on rearguard, put this to soul. So yeah, you essentially get a free counter charge. And the first skill itself already gives you a counter charge. You might just say this deck has no counterblast issues as it is. Although overall, I would say this new Celestial playstyle is quite interesting. I just don't like how for the first skill you have to specifically stand cards with the same card name as the ones in the damage zone. And obviously they have to be face up because those cards have information on them. But at least the payoff for its skill is quite nice. And now to the Musketeers. Here's the Heal Guardian along with the reprints. And then we go to Water Lily Musketeer Ruth. Grade 1, 8k power and skills. Auto when placed on Vanguard, call 1 plant token. If your Vanguard is grade 1, call 2 instead. So regardless, you get a free plus. But if you go second, you get a plus 2. Yeah, it's Vanguard only, but calling 2 tokens equals 1 more attack. But anyway, second skill. Auto Rearguard. When this or another unit is placed on Rearguard from deck, costs. Retire this unit and countercharge 1. Musketeers playstyle is sacrificing your dead plants so you could grow the new ones, hence the part of calling from your deck. So this is easy to pull off, and it's an instant 4 of. Next, Lyrical Monesterio Archetype. Grade 2, 10k power and skills. Auto, when placed on Vanguard Rearguard, if your Vanguard is Musketeer, cost Soul Blast 1, retire 1 Rearguard, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose 1 from among them and call it to Rearguard. Put the rest at the bottom of the deck. Then, if it was a trigger unit, cost Counterblast 1, you can activate the trigger's effect. Very nice. Yes, it's not a direct +1, although you can always remove a plant token for something better from the top of your deck, but if that card happens to be a trigger, at least you won't lose value from it because of the second part of its skill that lets you get the trigger effect. So overall, pretty nice. The only thing is, your Vanguard must be Musketeer, so you cannot play this in every deck, because I would love to replace tokens for better cards from the deck. Back to using Legion to the boss unit, Lyrical Musketeer Vera. Grade 3, 13 power, force, and skills. Act Vanguard once per turn, costs Counterblast 1, retire 2 rear guards. Your tokens can be the retire fodder. Choose 2 cards from your drop zone, and put them at the bottom of the deck in any order, or just retire those rear guards you don't want, because you could just return them now. Look at the top 5 cards from your deck, choose 2 from among them and call them to rear guard. And if those 2 cards were Musketeers, this card gets +1 drive check. Essentially, you are replacing 2 rear guards. Of course, you can get rid of those used up on place abilities and then just replace them for better cards that are useful. There is that, and of course, that extra drive check can be nice, especially when we already have some existing Musketeers, so there should be enough targets. But it also has a second skill where it works with a mate. Count Vanguard. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, and Lucorious Musketeer Sao is on your front row, all your front row rear guards get the power from the trigger effects that this card gets. So basically, if you have her mate, you can essentially turn all your triggers into front triggers. That's a pretty nice bonus right there. Now, the only thing is, this one doesn't directly call the mate like certain other cards that were remakes of Legion. But of course, you do have ways to recycle and filter out your deck to get your mate out, so this shouldn't be too hard to get out. But overall, it is a nice resemblance of the old Musketeer playstyle, returning cards from your drop zone and then calling more. And now for the Loronerol archetype for Lyrical Monesterio, here's the starter. And then we go to searching for entertainment Loronerol, which is grade 1 with 80 power, and its skill is search your deck or hand for 1 grade 1 song card, that's basically a set order, reveal it and put it to your order zone. If you search your deck, you shuffle it, if you put 1 from your hand, you draw a card. So regardless, you're going to get a plus out of it, which is pretty nice. And how this playstyle works is that you want to build up the number of songs, aka the set orders for this deck, to your order zone. As the more you have, the stronger you're gonna get. Growing up, Blooming Singer Loronerol. Grade 2, 10 power, and its skill is Count Vanguard. During your turn, if your order zone has a song, this card gets plus 5k power. Your grade 1 guarantees you to have a song, so this is guaranteed to activate. And this is very similar to Cardinals. But anyway, its second skill, Auto when rolled upon, search your deck or hand for 1 grade 2 song, reveal it and put it to your order zone. If you search your deck, of course you shuffle it, and if you put it from your hand, you draw a card. Basically like the grade 1, except this one searches for a grade 2 when something rides upon it, aka that will be your grade 3. Plus an extra bonus skill of getting 5k. So nothing too special. And now, fully grown as an idol, Heartfelt Song Loronerol. Grade 3, 13 power, and its skill is Act Vanguard. Once per turn, costs counterblast 1, choose a face-up song in your order zone and sing it. This is basically you activate your set cards in your order zone for the archetype, aka your songs, because they're going to be song orders, obviously. So how it works is that you would turn the face-up song card face down and you would use its song ability. That's basically how it works. So in a way, it's kind of like a G-zone, but at the same time, it has some Alchamagic similarities to it, because its second skill, Auto Vanguard. When this card attacks, if your order zone has 2 or more face-down cards, that already gives some G-zone vibes right there, choose a face-up song order and sing it. And until the end of the battle, your opponent cannot call Sentinels from your hand to Guardian. Very nice, you add the guard restriction on top of your 2 song abilities, because first skill gives you a song, and the second skill also gives you a song. The only difference is, the second one will have to be your second grade 3 turn, because you need to have 2 face-down songs before you do this. And the first skill only gives you 1. Unless we have support cards that could give you another one, in normal circumstances you're gonna only get this in your second grade 3 turn. And now let's go to the song cards, because that's what's important for this deck. To our only grade 1 sound card at the moment, Innocent Happiness, which is of course a grade 1, and of course it's a song set order, and its effect is Auto Order Zone. When this song is sung, draw a card, choose one of your vanguards, and it gets plus 5k power. Very nice, can help you get extra plus and extra power. But like you saw with the grade 3, you can use 2 songs in a turn, so meaning you can combo 2 different songs. So the skill does add up. Next, Red Runaway. It's a grade 2 song set order, of course, and its effect is Auto when put to your order zone. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, draw a card. So you really just want to use this a little later, or if you go second. But it also has a second skill where Auto Order Zone, when you sing this song, choose one of your Vanguards that gets plus 1 crit until the end of turn. This might not do much until you remember that you're comboing different songs. And considering that your main grade 3 also has a guard restrict on top of it, that can be quite nasty, especially with a built-up power from your other songs, because, yeah, your other songs will have that. But it's also nice that it has the extra bonus skill where you could get an extra draw if you put it in your order zone. But of course, your opponent has to be at grade 3 to do this. so this is more if you go second, but still very nice. And into the other grade 2 song, more so if you go first, The Sound of Waves at Twilight. It's a grade 2, set order song of course, and its skill is auto when put to your order zone, choose one of your vanguards, gets plus 5k. That's not bad, but it also has a second skill where auto order zone, when you sing this song, all your front row gets plus 5k power into the end of turn. That is pretty nice right there, a mass power up for your whole front row. And of course, remember the grade 3 can combo with 2 songs, so this with other songs can make things a lot more devastating. Especially with our greatest song, 6 Flowers Practal, which is a grade 3 set order song of course, and its skill is auto when put to your order zone, choose a face down card in your order zone and turn it face up. This is very nice. Like I said, this is a late game type card because this is going to be your main finisher. So you can be in scenarios where you used up all your songs and you need another song to combo off with your 2 song skills. So this letting you recycle that is already really nice. But it also has a second skill where auto order zone. When you sing this song, choose the same number of rear guards as the number of face down cards in your order zone and stand them. And then you choose one of your vanguards, it gets plus 10k power into the end of turn for each card stand. And this is what I mean that I'm also getting G-Zone vibes, because the more cards that you put face down in your order zone, the stronger you get, so that's why I'm also getting the G-Zone vibes. And you mainly want to use it for this card. Like I said, a mass power boost, comboing with another song. You can combo this with the whole front row gets plus 5k power, so you can make those restand units get some power as well. You can combo this with an extra crit, so your Vanguard itself could get a lot of power, and an extra crit with a guard restrict because of its own skill. Many things you can do! And of course the offer of a multi-attack is also very nice. Now like I said, this is more of a late game card because you do want to build up more face down songs, as the more you get, the stronger this card gets. So on average you do want at least to try to build up 4 face down songs, which is usually your second grade 3 turn, giving you a good number of restands and after of course. So overall, a very nice playstyle, and it does give me the Alchamagic vibe, which I already like Alchamagic for its unique playstyle, because I really like the manipulation of combining order cards. But overall, this is very nice too. That's it for these reveals. Boy, that was a lot. What do you guys think about the Seal Dragon Celestial along with the Musketeers and Loronerol Archetype? Seal Dragons is a nice improvement, Celestial's got a lot more complicated, and Musketeers, I'm glad to see its old playstyle back. But Loronerol with the songs is quite interesting, as it feels a lot like a G-Zone Alchamagic type archetype. Man, Lyrical Monesterio is really getting my interest with their archetypes. But in that, this is it for this bonus segment. We'll be doing one next week as well, since we still have a lot more clan collection and I am not going over that in a Tuesday stream. But on that, it's time to say goodbye.